Hello folks, today I'm going to talk to you about who I listen to and who I follow in the Bitcoin world. So first of all, I just like to say anything or any interview that includes Jack Mallers or Michael Saylor, it would probably behoove you to just listen to it. I learn a ton every time I hear any two of those people speak. Jack Mallers is the CEO of Strike, which is a Bitcoin app. He's very active down in South America, especially El Salvador, where Bitcoin's legal tender, helping to implement that. Strike, I have not used his app, but to my understanding, it really helps facilitate sending money cross-border. So if you want to send money from the US to El Salvador or Japan or whatever, it uses Bitcoin, the Bitcoin rails to do so at a very cheap rate and quickly compared to moving money around with the traditional methods. That's kind of where Jack Mallers is, but the guy is a Bitcoiner through and through. Very awesome. So, and then Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy, he blows you away with the way he understands and talks about Bitcoin. The guy got into Bitcoin right around the time I did. Maybe I got in a little bit before him as far as getting orange pilled, but he has gone all in with his company. So listening to him speak is phenomenal. So any interview that includes those names, I'll just put their names in the description so you can do a search for them later on. But one of the first people on my list is Robert Breedlove. He has the What is Money show. I will put YouTube links in the description for all of these podcasters that I'm going to tell you about. You can take it from there as far as following them on Twitter or Facebook or wherever else you can find them, but they are all on YouTube. So Robert Breedlove, he's a deep philosophical thinker. He has what is called the What is Money show. And in fact, there's a video, and I'll try to link it somewhere up here, where he talks about money. I think it's titled What is Money? And it's my go-to video to orange pill any family or friends that need to understand money, and I don't have time to explain it to them. It's an hour and a half long video. It's well worth whoever's time it is to listen to it. So it's a great video to start someone off. But he's actually being interviewed in that case. However, I'll include the link. So deep philosophical guy. He understands Bitcoin on a deep level and kind of everything that's happening in the world today. The next one's Anthony Pompliano. He has the Pomp podcast. He sends out a newsletter once or twice a week, just kind of going over what's happening in the Bitcoin world with laws or whatnot. Kicks a lot of content out on YouTube, basically everywhere. And he interviews a lot of big names in the Bitcoin world. Along with Anthony Pompliano, they have another show, him and his brothers, Joe and John, I believe their names are, the Best Business Show. And that show also kicks out a ton of content. They also interview a lot of people. I think they say something like they kick out 5 videos a day. A lot of times you'll see short snippets of like maybe a longer interview on YouTube. I find those very useful to just kind of get the gist of what the interview was or what it took place in the interview. The next one I listen to is Mark Moss. He has the Mark Moss Show. He's also on iHeartRadio, and he just gives great advice on kind of what's happening in the world today. He, basically every video he's trying to teach you about money because one, you never learned it in school, or he's trying to unteach you what you did learn in school so you can learn the right way. And he gives also great advice on teaching about money and how money works. So the next person is Natalie Burnell, and with the Coin Stories podcast. She's pretty neat. She comes from kind of the news world, and you see her on, I've seen her on Fox News and a couple other spots. I always see snippets on Twitter where she's doing interviews. So she does a great job of representing Bitcoin to the rest of the world and maybe, orange peeling the world, if you will. So she does a great job of breaking down Bitcoin. Next one's Max Keiser and Stacy Herbert. They did have the RT, I think Russian television show, but for obvious reasons with Russia right now, they ended that contract, I think is what they said, and they started the Orange Pill podcast and and YouTube channel. So I listened to them. Max and Stacy are awesome. I think Max understood Bitcoin from the get-go. He I think he said maybe even clear back at $1. And so the guy is unbelievable. Him and Stacy, they're huge into Bitcoin. They're in El Salvador where it's legal tender, and I think they're just making a lot of things happen down there. So they're a great listen to just learn what's happening and what the overall direction is of Bitcoin. The last one that I listened to is the What Bitcoin Did podcast, or WBD, with Peter McCormack. Peter is British, great guy. I can't even keep up with all the content he kicks out. He just kicks out a lot of top-notch content and does a lot of great interviews with a lot of big names in the Bitcoin world, or crypto world even. And I guess all of these people, most of them, do interview a lot of big names in the Bitcoin world. He says they're on his webpage or on his podcast, hey, you can get a hold of me, email me here. And I have emailed him a couple times, and guess what? He emails right back. If I remember right, it was in less than a day he had emailed me back. So that's pretty impressive. So that you can even contact him and reach out to him. But he kicks out so much content. I don't even know if I listen to all the interviews. I just don't simply have time between that and wanting to listen to these other podcasts. So he does seem to swear a lot. Some of the, he seems to swear more than the others, even though there is some swearing. So if you got kids around, you might want to kind of listen to it first to see if there's something you should bleep out or whatnot. But Peter asks a lot of tough questions, even questions that, maybe are conflicting with his own personal point of view, and he'll say that. And sometimes he has whoever's interviewing dumb it down for the rest of us, and that kind of makes you feel like you're one-on-one with him. You're like, oh, well, I don't get it, and he just said he didn't get it, and it's really helpful for him to do that when getting interviewed. So these are just some of the podcasts. If you start YouTubing the Bitcoin interviews, the YouTube algorithm is going to start kicking out a lot of great content toward you. These are just some of the people I've settled on that have helped me. And again, I work in the oil field. I'm in a work truck all day long. I might as well be learning while I'm there, and I'm getting paid to learn extra. So I crank up speakers, turn on a podcast. I actually listen to YouTube all day because I just like the algorithm that it kicks out to me. But I do listen to the podcasts as well, using podcast apps or whatnot. So these are who I love to listen to. Recommend, if you have any other recommendations, please put them in the comments. I would love to either be interviewed or interview one of these people someday. But, I'm just little me, but these are who I listen to, and I hope you guys have the best of luck with what you're listening to. But hopefully this gets you started.